In this video, I'm going to show you an overview of the credit terms feature. You can define several types of credit terms commonly used by vendors in their relation with the company and by the company in its relation with customers. Credit terms include an installment option, one payment or multiple installments, a payment schedule, and terms for cash discount, only for the single installment option, and also credit terms that can be used as a schedule for overdue charges. Let's go in the application right away and review this feature. If I navigate under Finance, Accounts Payable, Configuration, Setup, Credit Terms. You use this form to define your credit terms. First, in the General Settings section, you have the Terms ID, which is a unique identifier you will give to the credit term that you want to define. Its alphanumeric string may contain up to 6 characters. The description field may contain a detailed description of your credit terms. Visible to field gives you the option to indicate to whom the credit terms are visible. The possible values are all, vendor, customers, and disable. If the vendors option is selected, the terms will be visible to vendors only. If the customers option is selected, the terms will be visible to customers only. If the All option is selected, the terms will be visible to both customers and vendors, and the Disable option will remove the terms from the selection list for both customers and vendors. Now in the Due Date Settings section, you have the Due Date Type drop-down menu. In order to understand each option, we will do an example of each. I created a test credit terms and we will modify in the setting of this term ID to review each scenario. Let's start with the fixed number of days option. You choose this option to specify the number of days after a purchase in which the payment is due. You put the value in the Due Day 1 field. In our example, let's put 30 days. Notice that by selecting this option in the Cash Discount Settings section, the discount type is set automatically to fixed number of days. I choose to specify the number of days after the document's due date through which the discount is still available. I will put a 3% discount if my document is paid within 7 days. When creating a bill and using my test credit term, you can see that my due date is 30 days later after my document date and my cash discount date is 7 days after my document date. If I process the payment on or before the cash discount date, the system will automatically reduce the payment amount to take the 3% discount. Okay, that was an easy one. Let's move on and select Day of the next month. You choose this option to specify a particular day of the next month on which the payment is due. You put the value in the Due Day 1 field. In our example, let's put 15. Now, the bill due date will be the 15th of the following month based on the document date. Notice that the cash discount setting automatically was set to Day of the next month. You can specify a particular day in the next month with respect to the document date until which the discount is available. The only discount type available when using Due Date Type Day of the next month are End of Month, where the discount is available through the end of the document's month, and Day of the next month, where you specify a particular day in the next month. Let's put that the discount will be available until the 5th of the next month and put a 3% discount. If I navigate to my document using this setting, based on my document date of November 1st, my document due date is December 15, and my cash discount date is December 5th. Let's come back to the credit terms setting and view the end of month due date type. By choosing this setting, the document payment is due at the end of the current month. Notice that no discount settings are available using this due date type. Now if I look at my document, regardless of the document date, the due date is always the last day of the current month with respect to the document date. Back to my credit terms. Now let's select the due date type end of the next month. If this option is chosen, the payment is due at the end of the next month. While choosing this option for the due date type, the available options for the cash discount settings are day of the next month, where you specify a particular day in the next month until which the discount is available, end of the month, where the discount is available through the end of the document's month, end of the next month, where the discount is available through the end of the next month. In this case, the document due date and the cash discount date would be the same. Day of the month, where you specify a particular day in the current month until which the discount is available. Let's put our discount type to day of the month and have the discount available until the 5th of the next month using 3% discount. When I enter my bill based on my November 1st document date, my due date is December 31st. The last day of the following month and my cash discount date is December 5th, the 5th of the following month in respect to my document date. Now let's review the day of the month due date type. With this option, you specify a particular day of the current month on which the payment is due. For example, my bill will be due on the 20th of the current month. The only discount type available with this due date option setting is day of the month, so I can specify that my discount date is available until the 5th of the current month based on my document date. I will add a 3% discount. When entering my document using this term, with my document date being November 1st, my due date is November 20th and my cash discount date is November 5th. If I change my document date to November 10th, my due date and cash discount date are the same, so basically the discount has already expired. Now, if I change my document date to November 25th, my due date is now the 20th, but the 20th of the following month, and my cash discount date is the 5th of the following month. Let's return to our credit terms and review our last option, the custom option. With this option, 2 due dates may be specified depending on document's date. For example, you may specify one due date for the document issued in the first part of the month and the second due date for document issued in the second part of the month. For example, my due date will be the 15th of the following month if my document date is between the 1st and the 15th, and the due date will be the 30th if my document date is between the 16th and the 31st. Using this due date setting, any of the discount type can be used. Let's not put any in this example. So on my document, I can notice that with a November 1st document date, my due date is December 15th. And with a document date of November 16th, my due date is now December 30th. So basically, if my document is anywhere between November 16th and November 30th, my due date will be December 30th. That completes the due date settings. Now let's review the installment feature. You can define how documents should be paid in a single payment or multiple installment. If the amount is due in multiple installment, you can also specify a percentage and a due date for each installment. The due date for the first installment is specified on the due date settings. Discounts are not available for multiple installments. Now, when using multiple installment, I can specify the number of installments. I put 4 because in our example, we have 4 installments. Then I can select the frequency and the installment method. The installment frequency can be weekly, where the second installment will be a week after the first one, and so on. Monthly, the second installment will be a month after the first one, and so on. And semi-monthly, where the second installment will be 2 weeks after the first one, and so on. Let's select monthly. Now, the installment method can be equal parts. The document total amount, with all the applicable taxes added, is divided into equal parts. Full tax in first installment. The amount of the document, its total before taxes, is divided into equal parts, and the tax amount is added to the first installment. Split by percent in table. The installment amounts are calculated according to the percentage specified for each installment in the installment schedule table below. For now, let's review the equal parts option. By selecting the fixed number of days as the due date type, and by putting 30 in the due day 1 field, my first installment will be due 30 days after my document date, and the following installment will be monthly after the first one. If I enter a bill with this credit term and release my document, you notice that my original document is now closed. The system created 4 different bills with the appropriate amount and due date. By clicking the Next button, I can see my created documents. Now, if I go back to my credit terms and select the installment method split in percent table, I can specify in the table the number of days from the due date on which a particular installment is due. 10 days following the due date, 50% of my bill will be due. 20 days following the due date, 25% is due. And 30 days following the due date, the last 25% is due. Remember that the installment is always based on the due date settings. So if I select my due date setting to be day of the next month and I put 5 in the due date 1 field, my first installment will be 10 days following the 5th. Let's enter a bill with a November 1st date using this setting. My due date is being December 5th, since I selected that setting under my credit terms due date settings. After releasing my document, I click the Next button to see my first installment. The due date is December 15th, 10 days following December 5th. The second installment is December 25th, 20 days following December 5th. And my last installment due date is January 4th, 30 days following December 5th. Well, that completes the overview of the credit terms. If you have other questions about the credit terms feature, you can always check out the application in Product Help via the Partner Portal under the online documentation. Thanks for watching.